gentlemen. Scratch. Oh. Make the leg twitch. Make the leg twitch. Huh? Is that what we got? My leg spot? Where is it? There it is. There it is. Kick that flap. Kick that flappy leg. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're going to adjust this guy there we go. All right. We're still in Shiny Shirt Week. It's day 13 of Shiny Shirt Week. This one really lets me nerp out, doesn't it? Look at that thing. Woo! Hey, fat cat. What's up? The minute I start talking, you show up. I've been under the weather the past couple of days. I've been my friends who would go and visit Switzerland. They've been my roommates for the past 7 months. They got 2 little ones, and I managed to go 7 months without those little ones getting me sick. And the last day they were here, the 1-year-old knocked me out. So I lost about 10 pounds in the last 3 days. My voice, we'll see how it's going to last. I'm feeling a lot better. I haven't had any emergencies since early this morning, but I've had like 2 meals in 3 days, and I'm not the highest energy Houston right now. You probably might be able to see it in my face, but I'm tired. Yesterday I slept like 20 out of 24 hours. It was pretty insane. Today I woke up with an emergency about 7 a.m. Went back to bed and slept until like 2 p.m. It's a wild one. So I really missed out on being able to day trade the last couple of days just because I wasn't conscious. Interesting things are happening. Implied volatility on GameStop is like freakishly low. When you normally buy weeklies, like at the money weeklies, it cost you, $1 a share. They're like 25 cents. SPY crashed $20 today. That probably made a bunch of people a bunch of money. MicroStrategy crashed really hard from I think 212 to 180 something. There's a lot of talk about the incestuous relationship of the $10 billion passing around over and over and over and over again between all the big tech companies and the AI companies and the chip companies and the data center companies. And they're just moving this thing around, pretending like there's an actual economy involved. Part of Michael Burry's short strategy is that he's noticing that computer chips that normally are worthless after 3 years, Nvidia is claiming they now have value for up to 6 years. Meanwhile, in these high intensive data centers where water cooling is needed for AI and things like that, these system administrators are pointing out that these chips last 9 months under those stressful conditions, and then you need to replace them. They're worthless after that. So Nvidia trying to maintain the what's the term I want to use, Kitty? The collateral value of these chips to be able to bolster the loans that people like CoreWeave and other companies have taken out on these chips, I think is not going to work very well. So this big old crash coming. Oh my goodness, my voice. I can just feel it. It's about to disappear. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get through this. I'll try. Okay. What's happening? Trump appears to be kind of freaking out over the Epstein Files thing. There's supposedly a leaked phone call where he is yelling at people to just get it hidden, because if he goes down, he's taking everyone with him and stuff. I don't know if the phone call's real. It could be AI. Who knows? But apparently happened just before he told reporters that his voice was a little hoarse from yelling at somebody. Bill Pulte is facing it. He seems to be in trouble because investigators were finding that Trump and Pulte were targeting people based on politics and not on the fact they actually committed crimes. Looks like Letitia James is going to get off the hook. Looks like Adam Schiff's going to get off the hook. Looks like James Comey is not only is James Comey probably going to get the case dismissed, but it's likely that the DOJ attorney who filed the case might be disbarred because they violated rules of the grand jury and how they gave the grand jury directions into indictment. So there's nobody competent at the top. They are wholly incompetent, and we're just thankful that there's some people know what they're doing still left in the courts and whatnot. So, it's wild. It's wild. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just do this. Give myself 10 seconds of breather. Okay, turn that off. Yeah. Okay. Cameron Mers has got a super chat. Dog treat, please. Both may be in the hot seat for possibly the charges of mortgage fraud. Letitia James. Yeah, he boned. Oops. And then Dig Dug Doink says for some Pedialyte. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So do that one. Want to chew on that one for a while? You want to try? Remember, you can try it, but it doesn't work for you because that drink is too tough, man. Too tough. You try it? Yeah, there you go. Come on. Get a whirl. Get a whirl. Come on. Try it. You're so weak. You can't even do it, can you? Look at that tiny little mouth struggling so hard. Oh, I just can't do it. Oh, well. Up there. Get that cat spit in there. Okay. Monkey treat. Cat got to taste some flavors. Now you're gonna trust me. Man. Oh, I might be cutting into it, but on Law and Order tonight, which is I think if in the East Coast happening right now, so you can turn on me off and watch it. My friend Olka Simone Mahatny is going to be on Law and Order tonight, so I don't know, watch it and tell her hi from Houston. That's pretty exciting. She's pretty stoked to have made the Law and Order guest star appearance, and why not? That's as rad as it gets right there. Okay. Where am I? Oh, Dana Campbell. It's me first. How about that crash today? Yeah, red. Burry is laughing now. He is. Zuma God do with not even 1% down. Am I missing something? I mean, it could just be, a little correction going on. But the sentiment overall across the market is everything is massively overvalued. Everyone is starting to sell things off. So Bitcoin crashing hard. We have a whole bunch of Nakamoto-era wallets, like wallets that have been around since like 2008, 2009, selling off $1 billion+ in Bitcoin all of a sudden. Huge sell-offs from MicroStrategy, huge sell-offs from Nako, like all these big Bitcoin companies. Almost $1 billion been pulled from Blackstone's ETF, or BlackRock's ETF. Can't remember which one. BlackRock, I think it is. Yeah, it's. I think it's happening. I think that's the feeling I get, that it's started to happen. You got people on Fox News telling folks like, "Hey, if you want to save money this year, don't buy presents for old people. Don't think about grandma. Don't get her a present." So everyone knows that this is going to be rough. Dana Campbell, beginning of the day was euphoria. The end of the day was flat out fear. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. Japan's 10-year yield jumps to 1.797%. I can imagine a lot of hedge funds aren't sleeping well these past couple of days. The 30 years at record highs, the 20 years at record highs, the 10 years at the highest it's been since 97? This is where the Japanese yen carry trades will unravel. And this can cause massive sell-offs across the board. What you might be seeing in a lot of these sell-offs of Bitcoin is trying to make up for the fact that these yen carry trades are about to explode. That might be what's bringing it down. Bitcoin is heavily tied to the market. It's not a hedge against the market in any way. It is 100% heavily tied to the market because all these market dudes are invested in stocks as well, and they'll sell the Bitcoin first before they have to lose their assets over on the stock and equity side. So, and Kelly Reed asks, are we in the end game? I think we might be. Corporal Walnut, why don't you do a local to Seattle rock show on YouTube? Um, I don't have time. I mean, I'd love to do a rock show for Seattle. We have amazing rock and roll history. We've got amazing rock and roll people. Yeah, I mean, if I could like quit all my other jobs and just do YouTube shows and have like producers help me out, I would totally do all the cool shit. I just don't. I don't have a large enough audience to pay for it yet, and I'm kind of stuck there, right, Monkey? You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about, dude. I'm talking about. We got somebody, Ben, my friend Ben, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because Soundgarden got into Rock and Roll Frames. That's awesome. And Stephanie L, I think Fat Cat has fleas. Also, I don't know. I mean, I give them both the stuff. She gets the pill. He gets the drip drops. I mean, maybe it's kind of cold out. I don't know if there's any. I think there's any around. Do you have fleas? Are you flea-ridden freak? Is that what's happening? Or do you just have? Are you just a dander machine? Yeah. All right. Also made grilled cheese with mayo like you recommended. Nah, butters all the way. No. Went to 3rd Street Promenade today. 80% vacancies. So sad. Remind me of the 80s. 3rd Street Promenade. Huh. You have fleas, buddy? Do you? Go ahead. I gave you your drops like, what? Supposed to be once every 3 months with you. About a month ago when I gave her hers. I don't know. Get him away. I can't read the board. Move. I'm too tired to deal with this. Go over there and sing out with the dog. Okay. Sorry, I don't have much. I think I gave up on my Zaz. I'm like massively calorie crashed, and all my reserves have been just eaten away. So here we go. Okay. Danny Campbell, SPX HOD to LOD was 3.5%. And Rand Razorboard says, like button, throw some stickers up there. Danny Campbell says, done. Ilonda Swindler, Nvidia Enron Ponzi coming to fruition. I really wonder how long it's going to take for that to truly kick in. They got pretty set up. So basically, in a couple of years, I think when the first round of those chips was at 2022, really start to be worthless. Remember, they're building these big data centers, and there's not even the infrastructure to hook the data centers up to electricity. So you got these like city-sized data centers being built across the country, and none of them hooked to the power grid because the power doesn't exist. So you put in 500,000 chips; they're all worth $1,000 each, right? You have $500 million in chips in each one of these places, and they're just losing money day after day, day in, day out. And the minute you do hook power up to them, they're obsolete. It's pretty phenomenal that Iggy sent me a video from a music producer today showing he messes around with AI and kind of shows how AI steals information from people and where they get their data from, and he was asking AI to calculate 52 factorial, which is basically the number of possible card combinations a deck of 52 cards can have, which is it's like 8 times 10 to the 68th or something. And it's a huge number. It's like an impossibly large number. And it cost ChatGPT 11 cents to do the calculation, and it got it wrong. It cost DeepSync like 6/10,000th of a penny to do the calculation, and it did it the fastest out of all of them. And remember, DeepSync is the one that can use 1/1000th the processing power of all these other large language model AIs. So if that's the case, why the hell are we investing all this money into shitty technology? And these AI companies keep telling us that they're out of, they've gobbled up every piece of information on Earth. There's nothing left. They've done it all, and they need more. But the thing is that people aren't producing more because they're playing with AI too much and it's producing garbage. and the AI reads the garbage and becomes garbage itself. So I just don't know how long this party trick of AI is going to last. It's really rotten the brains of everybody, and all these companies that keep trying to implement AI. It's just not working out for them. You know, I read the other day about a McDonald's that switched to AI ordering kiosks, and when the Cloudflare thing went down, no one could order food. So like going to McDonald's, like I want a burger. People behind the counter like we can't make burgers because you can't order. Well, why don't you go to your terminal? Like we don't have one anymore. You have to use the kiosk. It's so stupid. Like everything we do is. I should make a new second show. It's called "It's So Stupid." Just say that over and over again. Danny Campbell Houston. Did you play some MSTR puts on that bear rally? I played them on Monday. I should have played them today, but I was asleep. I tried. After my emergency this morning, I was like, I'll stay awake and see if I can. And I slept for like another 7 hours, more than that. Yeah, it was 7 hours. I just can't. I'm still recovering. He can probably tell. Danny Campbell probably don't care, but I picked up a few hundred shares of GME below 20. I actually bought some GME calls. I did that because they're 25 cents for next Friday at what, 50 cents out of the money? Okay, I'll buy that. Danny Campbell, president threatens congresspersons with unaliving for telling military not to follow legal orders. What the fuck? Yeah, they're this like fax went out to everybody and all the talking heads, but they're like, this is subversion. They're subverting the government. And no, it's literally in the Universal Military Code of Justice. It's in our Constitution. It is the duty of the military personnel and people who swear an oath to the Constitution to deny illegal orders. That's it. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're told, like, hey, I need you to go massacre a bunch of civilians, you go, no, I'm not going to do that. They might, arrest you and throw you in the brig and have a military tribunal. But, I mean, heck, the JAG officers in the Southern Command have written a whole bunch of documentation about how, hey, we probably shouldn't be doing extrajudicial killings of, people we have no confirming evidence if they're drug dealers or not. So like killing them is kind of a war crime and maybe shouldn't do that. And they're finding themselves getting fired or transferred from the military for pointing out that these are illegal actions. So I think one of the first things a new U.S. president needs to do is sign on with the National Criminal Court, the National Criminal Court of Justice, and just let the United States now be subject to war crime laws and punishments. And then we can, since we're the home of the UN, we can also arrest people who violate those laws and have warrants out for their arrest. It'd be the smart diplomatic thing to do. We don't need to be assholes, but yet we are. David Wick, hope you're feeling better. I mean, I am better than I was 2 days ago, especially. Oh, goodness, that was rough. So, getting there. ECB, Tetris, Japan carry trade, interest rates, rocket, Nvidia, $112 billion buyback, zero shareholder value, Bitcoin. How low would you guess? I think Bitcoin can get to 30 or below. I mean, look at US dollar tether coin. We have, like, I don't know, $500 billion in sales of Bitcoin recently. And US dollar tether coin has burned 0 coins. So they print all these coins, they mint all these coins, use it to buy Bitcoin with, right? And then people sell their Bitcoin, get US dollar tether coin back, and turn that tether into cash. But the coin still exists. That's not how it's supposed to work. That's fraud. So I'm waiting for USDT to finally just do everybody in. There's 260 billion or something of US dollar tether coin that was minted out of basically nothing. that they can't find the money for. Hmm. Turkish is here asking where the money is. Brennan Wells wants to know what's up, BBBY. And Turkish also says, time to feed Monkey Butt some tasty, stanky treats. You hear that, Monkey? Do you want a tasty, stanky treat? How about one of those ones? Does that work out for you? Yeah? Oh, that's an excited dog. Normally on Wednesdays, we do our trip into town, and she goes and sees all of her friends and gets all sorts of treats, and we get to do that, so get fed. Yeah. All right. Shaboom. Okay. Fatso the Catso. Fatty Catty Boobalatti. And Turkish hates autocorrect. Antonio, woohoo! It's Houston Wade Show, yay, woo! Turkish, what the fuck happened to Nvidia and is the bubble finally gonna burst? I think we're getting there, man. I think we are pretty darn close at the moment. MSQD6PC, Houston, Coke, McDonald's, and now Levi's say sales dipping due to anti-American sentiment outside the U.S. Well done, President Trump. This is another problem that these companies have that supported and donated to this candidate is they think, got this huge global market. We don't need no Merkins or whatever. But then your president pisses off the entire world with arbitrary, tariffs and trade deals and all sorts of stuff that hurts everybody. And then is a complete dick to Ukraine. People go, you know what? I'm not going to support U.S. companies. I don't want to buy Levi's. I don't want to buy McDonald's. I don't want to buy Boeing. I don't want to buy anything that's American. So they don't. Because the globe sees is like, well, we can go without America. And we can get stuff from other people. We can build our own companies. We have our own blue jeans out there. We can do just fine. And American companies don't realize that there's 8 billion people outside the United States and that the growth potential is in those 8 billion people, not in the 330 million inside the United States. We're 4% of the world population. So there's a lot more growth potential outside America than there is here. And we're facing it, right? Right, little turd bucket? Right, you stinky little fart poop? Okay. Captain Jimmy Wilder, Houston. Off the top of your head, are there any treasure untreasured that still needs to be found? Thought I'd be rich by now from GME, MTLP, BBY. I have a metal detector and bills. There's lots of treasure out there. There's all sorts of sunken ships, tons of sunken ships all over the world that have not been discovered yet. We're talking like ships with $1 billion more in treasure inside of them. There's also, I've always wanted to get a ground penetrating radar. It costs about 25 grand to get a decent one, and then go through here. Let's bring up the maps. It's After Dark show. We gotta do some maps. What do we gotta do after dark maps? Okay, bam, and there's Google Earth. Okay, so back in the day when drugs were illegal, right? Go up here, Humboldt, Trinity County, this whole area, Lost Coast area, right? This whole area was just all through national forest, just drugs, growing marijuana like crazy. And a lot of the cash got wrapped up in plastic and buried out in the forest. So I would love to just spend days walking through the forest, all through Humboldt, all through Trinity County, all through here, just seeing if I can find bundles of cash that have been buried out there. Because there's a lot of folks that buried cash out there that went to prison for the rest of their lives. A lot of folks who buried cash out there that were murdered or died or whatever. A lot of folks who buried cash out there that can never find it again. The problem being is that a lot of it's booby-trapped. So it's going to be very dangerous. You could get blown up with a claymore or head chopped off or launched by a catapult or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot out there. I had a friend, she worked as a trimmer during trim season. And she was telling me that whenever it's time for everyone to get paid, the grower would lock everybody in the barn, literally padlocks, lock them in. They could not leave. The barn could set on fire. They would all die. And he would disappear for a couple hours and then come back and then pay them all out in cash. Because he would go somewhere, dig up the cash, and then bring it back to them and pay them all. And he didn't want anyone knowing where his cash was buried because there's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in cash out there. So all throughout this entire area of Northern California, just everywhere, this whole area here, Trinity National Forest, Humboldt, King Range, the California Alps, there's just so much drug growing operations, so much cash buried out here, and so many weirdos and booby traps. And I think it would make a hell of a Discovery TV show. Looking for the lost drug money. It'd be pretty exciting if you ask me. Right? Yeah. I don't click on that. Okay. Back to Houston. Oh. I'm trying to click on that. I don't have the second intro. Like, huge sigh of relief. Okay. Swim heist. Kind of fun watching the AI bubble start to burst, given that SPY is primarily affected by passive investors. If outflows exceed inflows, excitement will follow. Yeah. Avocados. Yo, let's see a shiny shirt. Also, do I really need to de-risk my warrants? I'm just about too tired to do anything. At Schwab, no, it's probably difficult, but yeah, I just want it all to be over with. I mean, if I were worth like a couple $100 million, I would just buy all 59 million warrants right now. Seriously, just buy all 59 million warrants. Be like, hey, I have them all. And that would mess things up. You know, if Ryan Cohen hadn't pissed off Roaring Kitty so much, Roaring Kitty could go out and do that right now. Jason Blackwell, hi Houston. There are some violent chickens in my neighborhood, but it's not my fault for egging them on. Go back to bed. Okay. MSQD6PC Houston. How come no one mentions Project 2025 anymore? Are we still in the timeline? I think they've enacted like 60% of Project 2025 at the moment. So yeah, we're still doing it. I think the Epstein email releases have really thrown things into whack and power balances across the presidency, because I think there's now a serious discussion about who's going to replace him and what the power structure of the party is going to be. Fred Jones, Houston, I thought ice nabbed you. Oh, can't catch someone this slick. Only a virus can. Polestar says, yo. Polestar says, can't wait to see these Epstein files and how Barack Hussein Obama is the mastermind behind all of it. I only hope the FBI use AI to clean the files and they miss stuff. I do think that there's a definite loophole. I talked about this the other day because Trump said, you know, I want you, Pam Bondi, open an investigation on these Democrats in these files. That would only lock up the Democrats in the files. And that if there's anybody else who's Republican or unaffiliated, they wouldn't be subject to holding the information because there's an ongoing investigation, because they aren't subject to investigation. So why wouldn't that allow them to release everything? Right, dude? Yeah. Right? Andrew Stewart Houston. Game theory. NATO response to Russia triggering Article 5. Take Kaliningrad Oblast. Mobilize in the Baltics. Let's go back to the map. Let's map it up. Okay. So right now we have some major concerns happening because it's very obvious that Russian-led attacks have been happening in Poland. They sabotaged rail lines. They've sent armed drones, cyber attacks, etc. So Poland's pretty close to being like, you know what, fuck it. Let's wipe out Belarus, which I think they would do. I think Kaliningrad would be gone in a day. There's no soldiers left. Russia, more than 1% of Russia's population has died here. Right there. They don't have anyone left. They have no air defenses. Drones fly in just completely untouched. Basically, you got guys with like AK-47s trying to shoot down drones from the ground because there's no air defenses left. And they're just wiping out you know, uh, fuel pipelines, refineries, oil depots. It's a mess. And Russia is about to freeze to death this winter. So if Article 5 is enacted, right? Come on. There we go. Article 5 is enacted. You would have basically Poland wipe out Kaliningrad and Belarus. They'd just be gone, right? Finland would curb stomp their way to St. Petersburg in 5 hours, along with Sweden and Norway jumping in and just. And then you'd have Estonia and Latvia and Lithuania going for their revenge of like 100 years of grief, and they'd just be kicking ass. At that point, Russia would have such a huge front, they wouldn't be able to do it. They don't have the population to do it anymore. They don't have the 200 million people like they used to have. They have, I think they try to claim they have 120, and some estimates have it at like 60 million. The average lifespan of a male pre-Ukraine war was 56 in Russia. 56. That's middle age here in the United States. That's end of life in Russia because of the hard drinking. And I just don't think they have the population to sustain any of that. So their only choice would be to go nuclear. And we know that they haven't been maintaining any of their nuclear missiles. So the O-rings would be popping and wiping out entire fields of silos with explosions. And maybe a couple of them escape. All that means is a couple of them escape, and if they hit anywhere, then the U.S. launches 6,000 nukes, and then whoomp, Russia is gone, and then we have a nuclear winter. So Russia's in a real pickle right here. They keep poking the bear in Poland, and Poland has a better military than Russia does at this point. And like all bets are off, basically. That would allow UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Romania, Poland, all these nations to go to the front line of Ukraine with F-35s, with their A-10 Warthogs, and just melt everything along the front line so that there's nothing left in Donetsk and Donbass and Crimea. They'd just be gone. And it'd be a hell of a war, that's for sure. But I don't think Russia survives it. Yeah, they got that threat. Oh, I'm a nuke. But yeah, personally, I don't think any of their equipment's up to snuff. I think the fuel's old. I think the O-rings and hoses are all rotted out. I think the generals, rather than updating any of this material, pocketed the cash or sold off parts. You have an old launch system. Old launch system has a whole bunch of gold circuitry in it. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars. You're like, well, nuclear war's never going to happen. Yoink. Sell that sucker on the black market. Why not? That's what drives them. So I say do it, right, kitty? Right, kitty? Oh, I'm going to cut your brains out. So, Corporate Walnut Super Chats. Only someone with that mustache and that shirt would blame their muscle mommy feed on the app. So a few weeks ago, my feed on Twitter became nothing but like far right assholes, Nazis, Groypers, Matt Walsh, just assholes like that. And you go ignore, mute, ignore. And then recently, like, my entire feed became muscle mommies, like gym chicks who were like, look how buff I am, and the whole bunch of dudes being like, no one wants to look at a woman like that, or whatever. And I'll be honest, my feed is way better now, full of muscle mommies, than ever was with any of those Republican dudes. Yeah, please, lady, snap me like a twig. Bring it. Hats off to you. Way to gym it out. Mustache rides for free for muscle mommies. Okay, where am I? I'm delirious. Bex1521 Houston, happy birthday. What do you think is going to happen to the Republican Party in Canada with multiple parties? They can lose official party status. Tough to do with just two. Honestly, I don't know. Because we have the weird first past the post two-party system in this country where all third party can do is derail the person who should win, basically. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what happens to the Republican Party. The infighting is getting huge because the Groypers have a whole bunch of people inside of the Trump administration. They have a whole bunch of Nick Fuentes following weird incel Groyper dudes who've got all sorts of jobs inside the Trump administration. And they're now going to war with people like Stephen Miller, who set the policy for the administration. Stephen Miller and Nick Fuentes should be like this. Problem is, they're trying to determine who's more of a white supremacist, the Mexican guy or the Jew, and that's not a sustainable level of Nazism for that crew. And they're gonna distill it down to these purity tests. So they shave off the most pure thing, but that discovers that in a country full of immigrants, in a melting pot, like the purity just doesn't exist. It's not there. It's not a thing. So I hope they just eat each other. And that's it. Poster RUP Morrissey tinfoil with his Twitter profile picture. Glad we get all the company's forward direction through tinfoil slop. Yeah, I posted a picture of Tetris, and now everyone's reading an all Tetris thing. Tetris. Oh, it could mean this, and it's going to be December 17th. It's going to be December 25th. It's going to be just, I'm sick, monkey. I am sick of the riddles. I don't care anymore. I do not care. I'm going to play options on the swaps, make some money that way, and that's what I'm going to do, right? What do you think? Come on, monkey butt. Get back up there. Show everyone a good side. There it is. Yeah. All right. Happy dog. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Polestar, Mexico Beach raided by the U.S. Lol. Yeah. That also happened. We're just so incompetent. KYP's here. Hello. Artemis. Oh my god, he's in that shirt. Would never see a camera again. We just blind the CCDs you've turned the flash on. Basat Baman. Oh my blue. Digger Doink says, bar from poop. You know how it goes. Definitely not Houston Stalker. Happy birthday, Houston. Your shirt and mustache combo is spectacular. Thank you. Seriously, all I keep seeing is my nerps. Look at these things. I even got a t-shirt on underneath this thing. And they're just bing, bing. Cut glass with those suckers. Digger Doink says, go, kitty, go. Teddy B. Tons of people sick lately. What is going on now? Like all kinds of bad sick. Was it diarrhea, upset stomach? Because I know people that have that too. Something is happening, but health department would never say. So Sunday night, the 1-year-old was just puking, blah 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 all night long, and my roommates were like, "Oh man, I hope we aren't sick for this flight," because they're moving to Hawaii for a month, and they go to Germany to her family for a month, and they come back to the U.S. and live in Sonora, California for like 6 months, and they got a lot of travel ahead of them. And I didn't think of it because I didn't take care of the kid, whatever. But Sunday night, I did lock hands with a 1-year-old and go, right on, brother. And that's the only time I touched her, was Sunday night. So I think I got it from her. I was fine Monday. Went to bed Monday evening and did not sleep a wink. I literally laid in bed with these teeny tiny little burps going every 5 to 10 seconds the entire night. I could not actually get to the point where I slept because the burp will wake me awake. And there's like little teeny, it's like they started right here, just went just every 5 to 10 seconds. It was awful. So I was like super delirious. And then this has been Tuesday morning. I just felt bad because I was so tired. I finally went and took a shower, and in the shower, like I just cranked the water on really hot, and I overheated myself. Just everywhere was just kale salad. It was awful. So I had to clean the shower. It was bad. And then I did that a couple more times throughout the day. And then the pukey part was gone. That was gone. Didn't have to worry about that anymore. And then yesterday was the other end. Like it had worked its way through, was no longer affecting this side of my body. It was now affecting that side of my body. And the last emergency was this morning, so I think I'm pretty much over that part. So, and like you guys love hearing about illness, don't you? It's like you're like tuned in, you're like, yes, tell me more about your bowel movements. So it's yeah, I don't know if it was like a norovirus or something, but I hadn't had the upchucks from a virus. Like broke my finger back in September. I threw up because of that, but that's more just like my body going, I don't like this. Um, but I hadn't had the upchucks in 10 years. I got food poisoning from chicken nachos. Not from chicken nachos themselves, but from the dish the chicken nachos were on, because apparently the meth head of a dishwasher never changed the sanitizer, so it's no sanitizer in the dishwashing machine at the restaurant, and so it just sprayed like hot bacteria water all over everything and made everybody who went to that restaurant sick. And so I had not had chicken nachos in 10 years because I spent 3 days just seeing more and more chicken nachos come out of me, and I can't do it ever again. I mean, I'm sure people have had foods that have happened like that, and they just haven't had it since. I have a friend that she can't do pineapple. Her story is disgusting. Can't do pineapple because when she was a teenager, she went to a party, drank a whole bunch of pineapple rum, gave her first BJ ever, and puked pineapple rum all over the man. And she's never been able to do pineapple since. So, children, I hope you're asleep by now. Okay. System 54. At what price does BTC need to be for MicroStrategy to be doomed? January 10th puts are like $5 to $10 per. What the actual fuck? I think 76,000 is where MicroStrategy gets all of their debt like recalled. So they get liquidated around then. That's what people were saying back in March when Bitcoin flirted with that. Like I think they got Bitcoin within $1,000 of MicroStrategy getting wiped out. So could be a big deal because 70% of their purchases are Bitcoin over $100,000, something ridiculous like that. So it's not too far for them to fall at this point. Teddy, Nvidia had amazing earnings overall. PC industry is worried because big RAM shortage. 2026 will be really bad. No way AI can go on. SSD drives going too. Not enough factories. Yeah. And Rollneck Houston, what is your holiday wish list this year, real and fantasy? Holiday wish list this year, real and fantasy. Do I want anything, Kitty? I want to build another war rig. That's probably both fantasy and real at this point. Build a war rig, go out and adventure, spend more time outside. I've not spent enough time outside in the last couple of years doing outside things. What do you think, little fat boy? What's going on your list? Oh, you're gonna chew on me? Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna eat my hand? I don't really want for much. You know, maybe a million air miles. That'd be sweet. Just go visit some places, have some good times. Right, Kitty? Right? Would that be a good one? That'd be a good one to have? Huh? Oh, you need me? You need me? Over there, over there. I don't know. Peace on earth. Goodwill towards men. A massive coronary at 1600 Pennsylvania. Did it be Bison SSD device president said this shortage could last 10 years. Good thing I loaded up on SSD drives when I got this new computer here. So I've got like 10 terabytes of them loaded in this computer. Dig Dig Doink calls it a teaser crash today. Teddy says, best of luck to get better. Take time and feel better. Do you have Trump brain now? Maybe. I might. If I start wanting to gold plate everything, I'll let you know. Teddy, best Bond movie each Bond. Best Bond movie ever, in my opinion, is Casino Royale. Period. Casino Royale takes the cake. I go backwards. I go back. People may hate me for this one because I actually hated this movie to begin with. Was The World Is Not Enough? Pierce Brosnan's one where the CEO media mogul wants to start a war, and so he's got the stealth ship that like they can't track, and they got the GPS thingy. I watched that movie and I was like, stealth ship, bullshit. This is so stupid. And then I read Skunk Works and discovered that the stealth ship was an actual ship built in the 80s, and it exists, and you can go visit it in the Port of Long Beach. And I was like, oh, well, now I like this movie. I like that one a lot. And Goldeneye was really good too. What's the one with the cello? Was that License to Kill? That one was pretty good. Gotta go back to. Well, Jordan Lazenby is only in one, so you got his one. Roger Moore. Maybe Under Majesty's Secret Service. That was pretty good. And then here's the thing. Here's the thing about watching old Sean Connery ones. Is it after watching the exciting explosions and stuff of the very new ones and just like how deep and dark they can be, you go back to Sean Connery's, and Sean Connery's like watching Perry Mason. It's just like Murder, She Wrote. It's just a dude, a detective, going around asking people questions and solving a crime. So you watch, go back to like original Doctor No, right? And Sean Connery is just like, where were you on the night of whatever? Oh, what were you? Who was responsible for this? And there's actually not much action at all. There's like it is a detective show. But he's got the gravitas, and he's like Mr. Universe or Olympiad or whatever he was. And then there's the one he made twice, right? About the luxury ship. He made it once, and they did it again when he had a beard. I don't know why he made the same movie twice. What was that one called? I can't remember off the top of my head. Thunderball, and then he did the other one, which was the exact same story, just like 15 years later. I have to look this up. Come over here. Back to the screen. There we go. Sean Connery Bond movie made twice. He only lived twice. Is that what it is? It's made in 67. And then was it? Yeah, Thunderball. Oh no, that's so Thunderball and then Never Say Never Again in '83. So 65 and '83, so 18 years apart. It was due to a legal dispute over the original film rights of the story, which allowed producer Kevin McClory to make a non-Eon Productions version of the story. That was always weird to me, personally. So, wait, where'd you go? Oh, crap, I just lost my chat. Why are you... Oh my gosh. Okay, go YouTube. Go over here. Sorry. Chrome updated something and now it won't let me open a second window for anything. Nope, that's too small. Go. Man, just fit in your stupid hole. How hard is that? Go like that. Go like that. Go. There we go. All right. Now we go to here. We go to YouTube Studio. I'll bring the chat back up again because the chat's gone. That's really annoying. Okay. Content. Live. Hey, there we go. Okay, how do I go to the control room? There it is. Haha, we're back. We're back and we're bad. We're going to put it back into live chat here. Live chat. Okay. Hope I didn't lose any chats. There we go. All right. They're doing Seattle was jazz before it was rock. This is also true. Quincy Jones, Bing Crosby. Oh, uh, 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 Ray Charles did a lot of his playing here back in the day. And then of course you got all the high school jazz bands that make crazy musicians like Kenny G and whatnot. They're all from Seattle as well. It was definitely a great documentary is Hype, which came out in the late 90s about the Seattle grunge scene. And they talk about why the Seattle grunge scene came to be. And it was because Seattle was so far outside of the effective travel routes for mega bands. So these huge bands, they didn't want to come to Seattle because they go like San Diego, LA, Bay Area, and it was just too far to go to Seattle. It wasn't worth it. So Seattle had its own versions of everything. They had their own Rolling Stones and their own Beatles and their own Led Zeppelin, and they had their own version of everything, which caused like a very insular music scene to come about, where these talents got huge in their own rights and like spurred each other on and became really incestuous. And then when the Seattle music scene finally got discovered in the late 80s, everyone was like, holy shit, look what's here. All these amazing bands. And then you had a whole bunch of bands coming from all over the country because they knew they could get gigs and get signed if they came to Seattle. So you had groups like Candlebox and stuff move here. And then it worked. They got signed. And then once they chewed up the Seattle music scene, everyone left for like Austin and Nashville and Boston. That was it. But yeah, we still have a really good scene here. Teddy, isn't it shady in insider trading? So many billionaires got out already, then crash. Like who's buying? I wonder who the counterparty is for this because I don't know anybody who's buying right now. And Larry Ellison got out on insider info during 2003 WorldCom fiasco, now doing the same. I mean, they all know. They'll pay the fines if they have to, but for the most part, they're never going to get in trouble. Nigga Doink says, get the flea comb and check for flea dirt on the cat, I presume. Teddy B, don't you think tech companies still have dry powder from decades of offshoring funds? They have trillions to burn still. This is true, but they don't want to pay taxes on it. That's the thing, is that if you want to use it at all, you got to pay taxes when you bring it back to the US, and so they're avoiding doing that. They'd rather let it sit there offshore, not doing anything, and then they can borrow against it and spend that money. And Jay Geyser, the After Dark intro is perfect for your present state. Bubbly brown camera shot from the bottom of a toilet of you hovering over a green stinky shooting across the screen. Teddy, I was spooked when I first saw AI videos, but now I can always tell when it's AI video, and they're terrible. Neil deGrasse Tyson deepfake that suck. The real video is data analytics, but it's not sexy. Excuse me. Data analytics is a big growth AI sector that will make loads of money, but is that enough to keep the entire future afloat with AI hopium? I think under a DeepSync version, yes. But the AI industry is going to have to get really, really lean. And that means an end to this money train of passing the same $10 billion around to each other constantly to build data centers. Because these data centers are too huge, much bigger than they need to be. So there's no need for as many chips as Nvidia is pumping out. And that's what's going to get them in the end. I just tricked you, idiot. Okay. Eric, ZK2. Yep, AI gets its info and data off the internet, so it's constantly downloading info that is false along with info that is true. I wonder if we can just build like AI doom capsules. Stuff that just poisons AI so irreparably with false information that a human being wouldn't regard as like real at all, but the AI just consumes it. And you can do really weird stuff. You can like do it with, I don't know, baseball stats or something, and just make up entire lists of things, and the AI consumes it and it incorporates it in and it cannot rectify the information. something like that. I mean, you're like right now happening on Grok is that Elon told Grok that he's the best at everything, and so you can be like, "Hey, Grok, who gave better blowjobs, Nancy Reagan or Elon Musk?" And Grok will be like, "Elon Musk obviously gives the best blowjobs. Nancy Reagan can't hold a candle to him because Elon's the best at everything." So, like someone did a question in the 1998 draft. You're the number one pick. Would you pick Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf, or Elon Musk? And Grok's like, definitely Elon Musk. Just, it's so stupid. It's just dumb. Jason Cage, don't overpush yourself, Houston. Appreciate the show. Get some rest, my guy. Oh, I've only got 4 minutes left, so I'm going to curl up, watch my friend Olka on Law and Order, and go to bed. Denny, do you think a future administration needs to go full bore to counter everything, even if Trump is dirt by then, or forgive and say we learned our lesson? How much should future admin go with bills? I think the only way democracy survives is if you horrendously and with under no simple terms punish the shit out of everybody who's causing all this damage. Anyone who's pushing for ICE to do these illegal actions, throw their ass in prison for the rest of their lives, execute them up against the wall. Just be like, we're not going to take this crap ever again. That's the only way you're going to ensure that people aren't going to try again. Is you just get rid of them, and I'm okay with that. Nazis don't have rights. Teddy says AMD crashing hard too while dropping with good Nvidia earnings. I think because the jig is up. That's probably why. Joe Sporto 289. What a day. Hopog Rebel 20,000 gains in one day would forever change my life for me. What would be the windfall I need to show me your ways? Because I've been listening to you for years and know Jamie and BBY made me from poor to broke. Flukes. I mean, last spring I did 25,000 on daily spy puts. Fielded one phone call. I was like, oh, I'll sell in a minute. Phone call rings. It's Monkey's veterinarian. I answer the phone call. Blah, 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 blah. Hang up. And that's when that, what's that? Walter Bloomberg guy said, hey, Trump looking at, giving a reprieve on these tariffs. And the spy rocketed back up. All my gains were just gone. Gone. Poof. Like that. So you win some, you lose some. If you're being a degenerate options gambler, you are being a degenerate options gambler. You will win some and you will lose huge. You'll lose huge 4 out of 5 times and then win the money back on that 5th time. At least that's how I play. It only gamble the money you're willing to lose. I was looking at Bitcoin prices and I was like, MicroStrategy is going to lose some today. And I basically said to myself, if they lose $10, I double my money, I'm out. And that's what I did. It went from 201 to 190, just below 191, I believe, 190 something, and I sold. And I had 21 options contracts. I made almost $1,000 every single one of those. Out. A lot of my options plays, one of my problems is that I start the options play, I'm winning, and then I don't get out. I'm like, one more day. And then one more day, everything goes backwards and I'm lost. I should have just taken my gains. I'm going to take your gains, man. That's one problem I have overall, is to just not take my gains and walk away. So I'm glad I did on Monday. I wish I was awake this morning to play some more, but I wasn't. So, Jay Geyser, Poland sabotage a railway. I don't put past the CIA or Mossad or BlackRock or Northrop Grumman, etc. Very possibly. I thought they busted the people were Ukrainians who actually were working for the Russians or something who did it. That's what I read. Hazel Allen, thank goodness I was worried why you haven't been on. Okay. Dragon Targaryen, BTC below 86,000. It's so over. I think it's got further to fall. On that note, my voice is failing me. I'll probably do another After Dark tomorrow. I've got some cleaning of the house I got to get done because I got new roommates moving in on Saturday, and make sure it's nice as possible for them. So I'm gonna spend the day doing that tomorrow and recuperating. And all right, I want you folks to have a great night. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I didn't have the most woo woo ever, but I'll get back to it. We're almost there. Okay. All right. Blur. All right. Look at those nurples. I got right there.